You can easily transfer great designs onto parchment. Groovy is a modular system. The plates complement each other and work beautifully together. They are packed with elements and allow you to build your own original artwork. Whether you're a novice or a traditional parcher, you will love these plates. And for me personally, having beautiful line art is what motivated me to want to learn traditional parchment skills. So why not get in the groove with us here on Hochanda?
Flexi order has arrived at Hochanda. What is Flexi order? When you place an item on FlexiBuy in your basket, you qualify for Flexi order, which means any other items you add to your basket will also be included in your FlexiBuy payments, so you can spread the cost over multiple monthly payments. After your first payment is made, your entire order will be dispatched. When you add at least £60 worth of any items to your shopping baskets, either online or on the phone, you'll qualify for our Flexi Order offer. This means you can spread the cost of your order over equal monthly FlexiBuy payments, offering you the extra flexibility when you shop with us. Flexi Order, making your shopping experience with Hochanda easier.
Hi, I'm Katrina from Rowan Dean. We're a small family business that design embroidery kits. Embroidery has always been my passion, and I'd love to show you how to do some of the stitches and some of the kits. We're based in Derbyshire, and I'm really inspired by the landscape and flora of Derbyshire, and I think other people will be too. Our kits are really easy, and I hope they inspire you to have a go at stitching. Since we've been on Hochanda, we've had a great time. Everybody's been really friendly and really good. We've met loads of people all around the country who watch Hochanda and find it really inspiring. Don't forget to join me on my own Dean shows on Hochanda.
Hi, I'm Anna and I'm a founder of Craftbox UK. Craftbox is a box full of craft supplies that we send to our customers monthly. All products are placed in a beautiful, sturdy box, which is ribbon tied, and we hope that by receiving this box, you will feel like it's Christmas every month. Make sure you don't miss the Craftbox shows on Hochanda.
Hi, I'm Lou from Studio Light. Studio Light has been around for about 40 years now. They're based in the Netherlands. It's a family-run business with a great heritage. Over the 40 years, Studio Light have evolved. They listen to me, the demonstrator, and you, the customers, and really take our ideas on board. So make sure you don't miss the Studio Light shows on Hochanda.
Hello there and good morning. Another bright and wonderful day here at Hochanda, and we have got loads of colouring opportunities in this now, loads of colour, and a fabulous colourful Lou herself. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, now I'm really looking forward to this hour because I've seen some of your sketches, some of the little doodles that you're going to teach us how to create in this hour, and we've got the perfect mediums to do that with.
Oh, perfect. I mean, the books, the pens.
Yes.
Oh, and then we've got a whole host that absolutely works together. And I do love a doodle, I must admit. But I think we all doodle.
We do, and it's funny you should mention that, because I was doing a little Zoom thing earlier in the week, and David came into the room that I was at, and I doodled little houses for some reason. I didn't even realise I'd done it, and they were just on an envelope.
But it's silly things. When we pick up a white pen and highlight stamps, images and stuff like that, and we add extra detail, that's a doodle.
It is, true.
We're just expecting it to be, you know, a masterpiece, rather than it actually isn't. It's just let your hands wander.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to be doing in this hour, learning all about creating those beautiful doodles to enhance perhaps what you're using already. Yeah, we're going to kick things off with this fabulous set. Now, don't forget, Flextravaganza is still continuing right the way through till 6 o'clock tonight. So any of the items that we're showing you on the hour here, you can spread over 2 payments quite easily. It will give you the option when you come to check out your order, and if you are giving our call centre a call, they will give you the opportunity there and then as well. 2 payments. First payment will have your post and packing, but it could be that you are going for this little bundle that we've got here, and it's a fabulous little bundle. It would be just £16.75 if you wanted to go for this one. Straight away, I'm picking up the fabulous little book that comes with this. I mean, this is such a neat little book that comes with this one. Many books for you to look at as well. So if you're looking at a larger sketchbook, then do jump ahead and have a little look. This is going to sit neatly in your pocket, or you can see there in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, I mean, handbook, like you say, in your bag. It's perfect for, I use mine for quotes and things like that, that I do that. Things and photographs I actually use, because it's a lovely little size for photographs as well. For school time, though, I used to use it for different lessons and different things like that, because it was a nice size.
Yes.
To work in.
And the nice thing about this one is it's a nice one for kind of recording things as well, because we've got actually something that you've done which has been fabulous for us, showing us all the different colours of the pens and the thicknesses that come within this set. But that's the sort of thing that you could actually document what you've got with your ink pads, with your stamps, with your little swatches.
Oh, perfectly.
Take that with you.
I mean, I do that. I mean, I do swatches in my sketchbooks as it is. I normally do them towards the back. But I do know people who have separate notebooks for the swatches, for whether it's paints, pens.
Exactly,
and carry it around for that actual reason.
So you don't double shop with things. Now, talk me around what we're looking at here on this card.
Oh, well, we've got 2 sets of pens. So we've got a lovely fine liners. Now, I know it seems really hard to people when you see all the different micron pens and all the different nib sizes, but each of the nib sizes helps you do something different. So this is the really finest of the fine. So when I do start out my doodles or my sketches, I'll actually start with this pen.
Okay.
And then that lays down, because I can make really fine marks, but then I can go with a bigger pen and make the marks deeper or thicker if that's how I want to use them, sort of. But I love that one for adding little highlights, like little cross hatches, dots.
Yes, yeah.
All of those sort of things that you add to your drawings or even to doodles. But I also like it as well. It's fine enough that if you were doing a ledger or a diary piece, you can write underneath it, but in smaller handwriting.
Oh,
so it's like a little footnote. You can do your little footnotes.
Yeah.
I know that sounds silly, but...
No, not at all. And it's something I've never really thought about. If you're trying to do it in the same pen, then you're almost trying to lift off the pressure and try and do little writing. It just doesn't work,
and all the nibs work for that way. And then you've got the brush nibs. So you can use the brush nibs, if you're beautiful brush handwriting. I'm afraid I'm not quite there. I do say I am practising. I have brought some practice sheets today.
That looks pretty good to me down the side there, I have to say.
Oh, that's just quick writing. But
it looks good.
But you can use the brush nibs are really flexible. So you've got the ability to do, like when you do the downstroke, it's got to be thick, and then when you go back up, it's got to be lovely and super thin. But if you want to, I mean, you can do a whole thick line, put the whole of the pen and just swipe across.
Kind of on its side.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
I do.
I do cheat as well and use it maybe to colour.
Oh, okay.
Because it's got a lovely brush nib.
Yeah. Well,
so I can colour a bigger space.
And I like the fact that we've got so many different colours within that pack, as you can see there. Your black, your blue, your red, your brown, your purple and your green as well, covering for all sorts of opportunities. Love the fine liners as well. I use them a lot if I don't get a perfect stamped out image and I want to fill in the little gaps. That's a really useful one to have, isn't it?
Yeah, they are perfect for do all of that. If you don't.
And obviously you fine detail stamps with those. We've got thicker pens coming up as we work our way along the counter, but if you fancy getting hold of this particular set, then yeah, you've got the details there. £33.49, 605188. Now, everything, just to let you know, the 5th of October is going to be your dispatch date on this one, so it's not too long. It's a little over a week, isn't it? So, but everything will come to you, and then you can start all those fabulous creativity projects. Now, we're talking about different sizes of books and different little groupings that we've got for you. Now, this is a nice set. Are we getting all of these together? Oh,
yes,
okay.
I
now,
know.
talk me around these, Lou.
I'm in love with the size of the sketchbook.
Isn't it fabulous?
I'm starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger with my sketchbooks. I normally go middle of the range, but you know, the silly thing for me with the sketchbook as well, I know I say it each time, I love the elastic. You know, as your books grow and you want to keep them all together, it's those sort of things that really, really, really help.
Yeah,
you know,
it's almost like you're kind of closing it properly, isn't it, when you've got that there.
But, I mean, the pages are really great to work on. Now, I always treat these sort of books as like an introduction to art journaling, but without your mediums.
Okay.
So if starting off with your mediums is a little bit scary, you can still do all the techniques, all the doodles that you see people do, but without the mediums. The papers will take watercolour.
Oh, nice.
But obviously don't bath it.
Yes.
You know, like a light wash. But
it's not classed as a watercolour paper, is it?
It's not a watercolour paper, so you won't get the same blends as you would on a watercolour paper. You can still use watercolours on them.
Gorgeous, got that creamy tone.
I know, it's gorgeous. I mean, I find that if I want to go and have all the layering with watercolours, I'll let it dry and go back over again. Also, I've used pastes and I've used gessos and I've used lots of different mediums within the book, so they do take it and they don't buckle. I've got a page to do which I have used with paste just to show that sort
and
of
they're
thing.
perfect to use the different pens that you're going to get with these. I always love the Moonlight pens because these are so dramatic. I mean, look at this. It's not often you get a pen that is such a dramatic look on white as well as black.
And also, I think I've only just started to embrace like the neon colours and the highlight because actually, you know, they add a real punch to a project. So if you've gone a little bit dark, suddenly bringing in like your Moonlight pens in a complementary colour lifts it again.
Doesn't it just?
And they're like little unsung heroes. I'm only just starting to, you know, really appreciate that fact.
Oh, this is it. But they don't just come by themselves because you're getting that fabulous palette with these as well. Now, these look amazing.
They are. I mean, as you can see, the colour is very rich, the colour is deep. So you get 4 metallics, you get 8 pearlescents and 8 of the fluorescents. But they will all mix together. I love mixing the highlighter ones, the neon ones, with the metallics. It adds a real different sort of vibe to it.
That's a nice thought, actually, mixing the two together. And we're talking about little paint palettes, or pans, should I say. Oops, nearly lost the tray then. So you're getting all of those colours there, because when you look at them, you could quite easily think that they were pens that we're using, but obviously the little pans there. Got lots of kind of techniques you can use with these and variations.
All your normal painting techniques that you like to use with them, they'll adapt to all of those. A really nice fine pen. And then you can actually draw your lines with them. There's superb colour laydown, whether you use black card or you actually go for anything within the books. But I do mix, like I will mix the fluorescents in with the metallics or even the pearlescents. I mean, the deeper pink fluorescent with the deeper pink pearlescent, the two together.
Well, this is it.
Sorry,
just different combination.
Absolutely
I can see
stunning.
you've enjoyed working with these.
I do. Well, I use mine all the time. Mine's there, but and it's a great set. I love the tray.
Isn't that brilliant? I might have put that in the wrong way around because it's not quite. Yes, I think it's the lips on the other way
So the
around.
tray can go anywhere you want it. So you can have it hanging off the sides, hanging at the front, whatever way you want to do.
Now you've got your little kind of thumb hole there as well. So I'm guessing if you're wanting to hold it as a painter's palette, then you can. So you can open it up. The thing that I love as well, that little tray that I've just popped in place for when you're transporting it. That comes out, and that is almost an extension area, which you can take the little legs that you've got on the back there, pop them into the holes, and it kind of extends the area out, whether you want it at the front there or whether you want it over to the side. Entirely up to you. You've got your little sponges in there for cleaning your brushes, I'm guessing?
Yeah, cleaning your brushes, I don't use mine because I like it to look clean. But I was going to say, you get the water pen in there.
You do indeed, yes.
But when you make the water pen up, there's that little black closure at the top there. Try and keep that, because if you fill the barrel, you can then put that back in place, and then you've got the water in there ready to go when you're out and about.
That's it.
If you lose it, then the pen, you can't. The pen will have to be made whole. And I stick mine in with a little 3D foam pad, and then when it gets wet and horrible, I just change it over to so like mine's there.
That's a good tip.
And then I can then put that back in place, so it's all there all the time.
And as I say, it's those colours, isn't it? That's why we're buying these. It's because of the colours that you've got in there and the portability and having them all in one place. And let's face it, that is key, whether you're on your travels or whether you're working with a lot of crafting goodies and you just don't have the space at home to have huge amounts of different elements.
It is brilliant. But the other thing I love about all the Sakura paint sets is on the back is the colour swatch.
Oh, I see.
So
is that on the
I
back
put mine
of the...
away now. On the back of the packaging.
Oh, I see. Oh, I've got it down here. Let me bring that in.
I know you've got everything in your hands. And
everything here. I'm juggling. Ooh,
but I cut mine out.
Oh, I see there, down at the bottom.
So if you're not, I love a swatch. I must admit, I do love a swatch. But if you're not, you've got that there, and I keep mine. And I actually keep mine in my tin, so I can carry it around, so I know what the actual colours are.
That's a good tip.
I actually cut mine from the packaging and leave it within the tin that way.
I like that idea. So if you fancy this set, of course you can spread the cost of this one again, as we've been talking about. So I just realised I've popped those the other way around. It's those that were sitting there, wasn't it? That's why I'm getting myself confused. We'll get it all reset, don't worry, by the time we come back round again. Now, of course, you are getting everything. You are getting your fabulous jelly roll pens with those moonlight colours in there, the A4 book, as you can see, with all those wonderful pages in there to fill. And then, of course, you've got your little palette, your travel palette there. Brilliant value for money. And of course you've got the ability to spread the cost as well. So 190235. A few more things to share with you. I'm going to speed things up a little bit so we can get over to Lou and see what she's up to, because we're going to be talking lots about the books and it's kind of a bit repetitive, but you are going to get a fabulous little book with this one. We saw a square book earlier on. This one's more of a kind of your pocket size, almost like an A6 sort of size page, this one.
Now, when we could travel, they were like my travelling books.
Yes.
I'd have all the details I want. You get so many pages in there that you can actually stick pages together to make your own faux pockets.
Oh,
and I would put little bits of
idea.
information in there, you know, all the flight details and everything I needed to remember. And it was all in one book, which I could then take with me because it didn't take up much space.
Love it, and I just love the colouring of that one. Oh. Nice smooth surface as well, so I mean, don't be afraid to decorate that as well, get your texture paste involved. But with these, you have got some pens and a mini palette as well. Oh my goodness, look at this, Lou. This looks amazing.
But that's using the paints, the pearlescence on there. And they, like I said, they do pack a punch, and that's using that one colour in the centre, one on the outside. And I haven't done anything, I've just taken the brush and gone, you know, splattered the brush down, as it were. But they look dramatic, whether on black or on white. You know, they're another lovely little set. They're great.
They are.
They're great to add background colours and, you know, washes.
Look at that, and again, that's just the paints. You are getting pens as well, which I will show you the pens in a few moments, but these are amazing. You see the different way that they react depending on the surface that you're working on. Of course, you've got those fabulous kind of metallic looks in there as well. So it is a really nice little palette. It's hardly bigger than the book, to be honest, which I'll show you in closer detail. We've also got your moonlight pens as well, and again, your moonlight pens that we saw, similar to the ones a few moments ago, they're going to sit beautifully on your black and your white, but this time they're looking at finer pens.
We are. These are what they call a 0.6, so it is a finer pen. These are the new colours out for this year as well. You can really, I mean, I love doodling, as you know, but you can get some really fine lines with these, but you've still got all the effects of the moonlight.
Lovely, yeah.
I love the actual range of the browns in there.
Yes,
and we've actually got greys, and I was saying some people like to add shadows.
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
Black sometimes can ruin a piece of work because we can go a little bit too heavy-handed with black, whereas a grey is a little bit different.
How cute is this little palette? This is adorable. Again, I mean, the A6 book that we looked at a few moments ago, say, likening it to the size of that, and you can see there, I mean, the portability that you have got from that, I mean, that could sit in the car glove box, couldn't it, quite easily?
The elastic from that book would go round the palette as well if you wanted to keep them both.
That's a good idea, actually, putting them both together. There you go.
So
you might want to put another one, well, there you go, actually, it's keeping it together quite nicely there.
And because obviously you get the little paintbrush that goes in with it
absolutely
as well.
adorable.
And again with the valve, the black valve, I do exactly the same in that paint kit as I do my other one. I put like a little 3D foam pad. So then that way you can split the pen up all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to carry around a whole pen.
Good point. Again, you've got your primers in there, so of course from those you can mix any colours, and then you've got your metallics in there, and as Lou said, don't be afraid to mix those up and make your own little blends. And again, you've got your little portable palette sitting there where you are able to mix them up. So yeah, if you fancy getting hold of this set, really nice price, this particular one, at £37.44. Nice little gift, that one as well. And of course, if you want to spread the cost, you can do over 2 payments, £18.20. 72p, should I say there. So 527259. Now the next bundle that we've got, this has been very, very popular already. I mean, the sketchbooks, you may already have your colouring mediums, you may already have your pens, your paints, but the books themselves, these are lovely. Now wait for the price. Look at this. You are getting all 3 of these, £13.75. What a phenomenal deal with these. So we've seen 2 of the sizes before, the square and then the A6. The next one that we've got is kind of like I'd call it a skinny A5.
Yeah, it is.
Just slightly slender of an A5, but similar sort of height there. Nice size though, again, because you can hold that one quite easily in your hand.
Great one. I mean, I do doodle in between shows and things like that, but it's a great one that I can carry around with me as well. If you don't want to take your A4 with you, you've still got, you know, all the loads of pages in there for starters. So you can do absolutely, it's a great size. It's not an overwhelming size.
Yes, not a scary size to work with.
No.
Love it. There you go. They all come together for just £13.75. Again, extended delivery, 5th of October with these. And again, you can spread the cost to your flexi-buy payments. You're looking at £6.88. That's a really affordable bundle when you spread the cost. I can understand why we're busy with that one.
Oh,
now, if you fancy it, 99351 if you're wanting that particular one. A few more bundles to share with you, and then we're going to head over and see what Lou's up to. And again, the smaller sketchbook featuring in this one. Saw it in that lovely bright yellow earlier on, of course, that gorgeous kind of peachy pink a few moments ago. This time we've got a lovely cool blue, and it's teamed up with some of your micron pens, and these are your fine liners. Got different sizes within these, so if I turn these around, you'll be able to see, hopefully through the packaging there, you have got the different sizes. So this is nice. I like this little set here, and we've got 3 different sizes. Why do we need the different sizes, Lou?
It goes back to each of them. The size is, the smaller the number, the smaller the nib. So the bigger the number, the thicker the actual nib width. So you've got all the ability to actually doodle. Well, I doodle, like I said, it's easier. I doodle in all different line sizes.
Okay.
So you can actually, the smaller ones can add all your little bits of shading. So if you like your cross-hatching and all those details, I do love a dot.
Yeah.
And actually having the small one to do tiny little dots is a great way of adding shading. But you've got 3 different nib sizes to write with.
Like that. It could be whiskers and things like that. You
Yeah,
can,
but I mean, you can do
yeah.
your title, you know, a bit like you've got your headline, haven't you?
Yes.
You've got your subtitle, and then you've got your text underneath, and you've got you can fit those in. So if you're into your journaling, you'll understand what I'm on about when I just sit there and do
I've never really
bits.
thought of it that way, but yes, when you're typing something in a document or a presentation, you do have your different, like, say, different fonts, different sizes, boldness, and that's what this is replicating.
Yeah, so that's what the nibs do. So it's trying to think about it along those lines. But I mean, I use all the different sizes, I must admit, but that's a great set from
Nice,
Tutor.
good one to get started with. Very affordable as well, though. I mean, £11.20 for the little book as well alongside that. And again, spreading the cost of that, you're looking at about £5.60. My goodness, that is an amazing deal to go for, isn't it? So, yeah, you're talking a couple of coffees for that price, really, aren't you? So, yeah, details there, 275173. Now, we're looking at just the pens now for the next 3 little items that we're bringing to you. So the fine liners, we touched on the reason for having these in your stash here, and this shows just the different size range that you've got from these, going from the finest there, as you can see there, your 005, right your way through. And this is where I get myself a little bit confused with the numbers, because you kind of, it just, I don't know, it just plays with my mind, getting the thinnest ones to the thickest ones, number-wise.
The thinnest one will be the smallest number, which is 005, and the thickest one is 08.
Perfect.
When you open the pens up, you'll be able to see, anyhow, you know, the different thickness. I've got all mine here, and we can have a look at that. But when you look at the graphics on the actual packaging, that's a really good illustration
It shows
of
using them all together,
how they've all been
yeah.
used. So like the 08s will be the darker bits, because you can create thicker lines.
And that's
and
kind
then
of the shadows in the
detail
windows, yeah.
in the water will be the smaller
Very clever.
lines. But they are. It's great to have all the different sizes depending on what you want to do.
That's it, and they're all in that little pack then. Of course, keep them in the pack, and you've got your storage with regards to those. So if you fancy getting hold of those, details are there on your screen, 553381 if you're wanting to get hold of those. Again, very, very affordable. I love the fact that you keep the packaging, you can store everything together. Now, the next set, we've got a lovely little range within this one, and I like this one because it's almost like a little selection box of pens, because you've got them for all opportunities. Now, with this one, you have got your brush pen featuring in here as well, so you can see there, which, of course, does give you, as it says on the packaging there, a variable width with that.
Yes, so the difference between the last packet you showed is you just get the brush pen different. So the same sizes on that swatch will match the other ones. The only one I've got to apologise for is the PN along the bottom sort of thing.
Okay.
But there gives you an idea of the line widths within there. So we know when we were talking about all the different sizes of line widths. And again, the brush. I do cheat with my brush. I do use it as like colouring larger areas as well as brush writing. But that is my goal this year. I am trying to nail brush handwriting.
Oh, and you will do it because you're a very talented lady, and I know you will. So with this one, we've got exactly the same we saw a few moments ago, which is obviously those original 6 pens. The 7th pen being the brush pen in here.
And they're all archival ink.
We've got PN written at the bottom.
PN, that's
there.
My fault. That's me writing on the bottom.
Oh, I see. So ignore
PN.
that bit at the bottom there. Fair enough then. I can cover that up. Nobody can tell.
I'll chop it off later.
No
but all the ink is archival. Once it's dry, you can watercolour on top of it. You can do absolutely, you know, chuck anything on top of it.
That's nice, yeah, to know that, like you say, it's like using your archival with your ink pads, isn't it? But you're doing it in a drawing stage. I like that. No, if you fancy that set, again, incredibly affordable, 410-420. Now, of course, we're talking about lots of different kind of black tones and different grades with regards to the thickness of those lines. This time, we're talking colour, and this is something that potentially people will be adding in, because quite often the first ones we go for are the black tone, naturally. So if you're just getting started, perfect, those sets we've been looking at. But don't forget, this one has got the black tone in there as well as your other colours. But
you don't have to just doodle in black.
It's a good point, actually. There's no rules, are there?
No, I mean, by getting both sets together, I think you near enough get 3 different greens, combining them together.
Oh,
so
right.
therefore, if you're into your flora and fauna, you've got now 3 different shades to use straight away.
Yes, yeah.
So you could draw your leaves in green, you've got a red there, you've got a burgundy that you can start bringing in your flower design. So you don't actually have to draw or doodle in black, you can use the colours. But if you're into your bullet journaling, a lot of us who do bullet journaling will have little sub-menus at the beginning of our bullet journals.
Yes.
And we use different colours, different... to say what we've done, you know, tasks met, birthdays, so on and so forth. And actually having a colour set is superb for that.
And also as well, a good friend of mine who's an artist, she was saying that when you come to, because there's some stamps I had yesterday, and she was saying that don't do a black outline with them, because in nature you don't see true black.
No.
It can be a very dark grey, but very rarely will you come across anything that is literally that jet black outline, which can make it a little bit tricky to start with.
Sometimes also, I think, I mean, I'm working in black because it stands out better on the screen, but sometimes when we stamp in black, if we make a mistake, it seems to stare at us a little bit more. Whereas if you're starting to work in different colours to do your outline straight away, it takes that harshness away.
It does indeed.
But, I mean, there's a big trend for like no-line colouring.
Yes.
So you could do, if you were doing a rose, you could use the red and the burgundy, bring your watercolours in, and you've then, like, you've used a red ink, because they're exactly the same. They're archival.
Yes.
They're permanent once dry. So you could do like your no lines colouring effect by bringing your paints in and your pens in as well afterwards.
We need to see all these in action, don't we? Now, taking up enough of your time, we're going to head over to the demo area with Lou in just a few moments. But if you fancy these, you've got your 2 different sets there. So you're not going to get both of them together, but you can choose either or of course, if you do want to go for both of them, then you can add them both into your basket there. Use that Flextravaganza, and then you're just paying £12.99 for the first set today, and then obviously a month's time the second payment. Post and packing goes on the first payment if you're not a Freedom member, incidentally. 916-538 if you fancy getting a hold of those. Now on the website we've got all sorts of goodies, including a lovely little picker mix with regards to jelly roll pens, and these ones are so useful to have in your stash. Now we've got lots of different trios for you here, so whether you're into your Stardust with your glittery finishes, then there you go. If you prefer your metallics, or maybe you want to hone in on those moonlights that we saw that were sitting so beautifully on the jet black card there, you can go in and get whichever of these sets that you like. And equally so, if you've gone for one of the larger sets and you found that you've used colours up, rather than going for another brand new whole set, then you can kind of fill in those gaps where you need them to be. Now you're going to choose any 3 of those for £14.99. You just click on the little plus button, get them into your basket, and check that basket out. But Lou, I can see you've got that lovely large sketchbook in front of you now. You've got the pages filling already.
I know. I just wanted to say, like, that book that you were talking about, the A5, just because it's hinged on one side doesn't mean you have to hinge it that way. But this was just to give an idea, you know, what I was talking about bullet journaling and using all your different pen colours to do all your different outlines. So you don't have to doodle. You could bring in those sort of things. That was like a, you know, instead of making a boring packing list, we can actually do it, you know, do it this way. So it's making lists fun as well, sort of thing. It was one of the things I had to do with my sons, because you'd sit there and say, are you ready? And if we made it a bit of fun, they actually remembered things. But these are just lots of my different sketchbook stuff.
I love this.
But I just wanted to show, I mean, I know we haven't got a black sketchbook on the show, but this is the moonlights that you can use on your, you know, your black paper. But you can blend them out. You can do watercolour effects with all your Jelly Roll pens, because once the ink is wet, it's a natural ink, so you can make it flow with an ink pen.
So if you wanted, say you were working with the sketchbooks that we've got and you wanted an area where you wanted to use the moonlights in that nature, could you use something like gesso to lay down a base for you to actually draw on top of?
Yeah, you can work on top of gesso.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't matter whether it's transparent or clear. I'm trying to think which book I did a little bit of gesso in to show people. You know, when you go, you know, I have, if that makes sense.
Oh, no, that's good to know, because it's like kind of you're getting the mix of both then, aren't you? You've got your lighter pages for those projects.
Sorry about that, I haven't finished this one. This side has got white gesso on, and this side has got clear gesso on.
Yeah.
And that is using a moonlight pen on top.
So it sits beautifully on there. So it sits
beautifully on there. Moonlight pens are designed to work on non-porous surfaces.
Okay.
So the gesso is a non-porous surface once it's dry. The only thing is the gesso needs to be dry.
Yes.
Because of the nature of the pens, you'll just clog up the end of the pen if it's wet. But I just want to say that I know it seems easy me saying everybody doodles, but this is stamping.
Oh, okay.
So this is a stamped page, and I haven't doodled in. But instead of colouring it, I've used all the pens from the second set of Moonlights. And I've actually doodled within the stamped image. You don't.
That's clever. Yes, I like that.
So if you don't feel confident with doodling, but you like the idea of doodling, you know, get your stamps out and doodle inside
and I suppose
those.
you could do something similar with a stencil. If you've got a stencil with an area, trace that stencil out.
I always
and, like
do
you say,
stencils
fill it
as well,
in.
sort of thing. I'm just trying to see a stencil page. Oh, let me see. So that is like using stencils.
Oh, there you go.
And then that's all your different types of jelly rolls, and I've obviously brought in some watercolours as well. But you know, you can bring your stencils in.
Yeah.
If you can't doodle as well.
Love
sort of
it.
thing. So let's just move them out of the way.
Thank you.
Now this is the big A4 book, and I know A4 can be daunting, but I just want to show that was a quick page I did for a bullet journal, but it's not complicated. I've just doodled a, well, sort of tree, and then some boxes, and it can be, your doodling can be as simple as that. And I know my hedgehogs look a little bit, I asked someone sort of thing if they look like they've been out on the town, especially that one. But you know, you can do lots of different things with it, but you can use your books just to practice your centangles and your doodles. And this is using the black microns, but using them in the different sizes. So this is a really fine one down here to the slightly thicker one up there. So you can bring them in your lines in different ways. I just want to give an idea of. And then,
oh wow!
Now
look at that.
This is using a stencil. Big Craft, you do their easy frames, which is just cool for this sort of thing. And all I've done is I've drawn around it, and then I've broken it all up. But these are the different colours within the two different Moonlights that we've got on. And I have added a few metallics, because you've got to add a few metallics.
And it's funny when I think back, because I mean, I used to do a thing with a blank page where I just literally just do swirls, just literally overlapping, so you had big section, small section, and just keep going then finish, and then fill in those areas. That was years and years ago. I probably would have only been 13, 14, 15, something like that when I used to do that. So these are all things that we've been doing anyway, haven't we?
I mean, we called it at school walk the line.
Yes.
You'd read a story and you had to put your pen there and you'd walk the line and doodle as you went along. But that is all the different. So you don't, like you were saying, bring your stencils in. You don't, you know, use your stencils to create different bits and pieces. And then I just wanted to do, oh, sorry, that was something else. I put that over there. But we were talking about, I was talking about watercolour. So I've watercoloured all my background, and that is using the 24 palette. And I've layered up 2 or 3 colours, and then I've stamped. And this is all coloured with the Sakura pens.
Oh, wow.
Because you can blend the pens together.
Yes.
And you can do different shadings. So they don't just have to be just for doing different doodles. You can bring them into, you know, your stamping as well if you want to.
I love it.
I just thought he needed to be.
He looks amazing. So is that something that you've drawn yourself?
No, this is from Clever Prints, Emma Blake's Kermit.
Oh, right.
Kermit the Bird.
Love it.
Right, so this is the page we're going to have a look on today. And I
love this.
But I thought,
I am going to have to steal this book now, though. You do realise.
well, what we could do is very carefully cut down
Okay,
along
fair
there.
enough then.
So, did you notice, though, that I deliberately haven't put anything on the back
bless
there?
you.
Right, and I thought, I mean, I keep my microns together. I'm dreadful. I keep all my jelly rolls in colour families.
Not dreadful at all. That's a good organisation.
it just helps when you want to layer.
Yes.
And you want to do colours together. So I thought what we could do is we could start by, let's have a look, and 005. Now this is the finest of the fine, and as I was saying, I would start, I know I've done pencil line, but that was just for speed, and this just then allows me to put roughly where I want to put things. So that is the finest, so I can start layering up.
And they're so smooth over those pages.
Oh, and it glides. You do not need to put lots of pressure on, sort of thing. I must admit, some of my pens are worn one side, where I've got into the habit of using them like a writing pen and things like that. But you don't have to put any pressure at all just to create. So I always start off with the finer line, and then I'll add in the thicker lines as I go along. So if I just do a couple of the letters.
Now, of course, the zero. Is this the 005?
0005. So this is the smallest.
That's it. We've got these featuring in a couple of those sets. The set of 6 that we touched on, and you'll remember that there was the additional set where you got the brush pen as well. So the details are going to pop up on the screen. So if you do want to get hold of these in the black tone that Lou's working with, then you can do. Of course, don't forget we have got the finer detail pens as well. If you are wanting to go for some of those in your colour options, then do check those out. But if you're looking for a nice set to get started with, just like Lou is doing here, then the set on the screen is the perfect one for you.
And then all I've done now is I've taken a 08, which is the larger line, and I can go over and I can start adding detail where I want to add a little bit more colour. I would normally sneak in my brush pen there. But so you've got the 08 there, which then starts to add the drama.
Okay.
So I always do the basic sketching in the smaller, and then I will go over, and depending on what sort of lines I want to add to it. Right, I'm going to think, I want to keep that quite thin, so I might go back over with a smaller pen. But we get such a range of different size nibs that it doesn't matter.
Well, Lou, have you got any tips as to, and now this sounds a bit daft question to ask, but how to hold your hand and hold your wrist? Because what I tend to find is sometimes it's something that you'll do naturally, so it's only talking around what you're actually doing. Because I sometimes find that I'm moving the whole of my arm when I'm doodling.
Yeah.
And I do seem to be making some very big movements, and they tend to be very jolty movements then.
I try and just use my hand and use your arm.
The flexibility.
As you're steady. I mean, they do say, put your little finger out. Now, that does take practice.
Yes, yeah.
So your finger becomes your actual... And that does take a little bit of practice. Well, because it aches for the first couple of times.
Yeah.
But no, I try and just use my wrist and keep my arm placed, because at least your arm's...
Yeah, I think I'm being too kind of stressful and too tense. Perhaps that's what it is.
Also, depends though, because sometimes if you want a fluid style, moving your wrist and your arm in big, waves creates that lovely fluid style. I'm just going to go for a black outline at the moment, so I would just build up. So with the 08, I can create more drama and add.
That's amazing, the detail that you're getting in there and covering, building up the area. That's the nice thing, yeah.
And then, starting with the smaller one, that's not quite as daunting if I made a mistake.
Yes.
Because I can go over, I could make it bigger, I could make it thicker, and we've, in the different sets, you get lots. So that's like, say, for instance, your H, so we can do exactly the same here. Now, I haven't decided whether we're going to colour these in solid yet, Hayley, or doodle inside them.
Oh, I look forward to seeing it. Now, don't forget, the A4 book that Louis is working with, we have got that one available. Comes in a bundle with your wonderful little palette, your paint palette, and also your jelly roll pens with your moonlight finish. I don't know if we've got the book available by itself. Oh, it's sold out by itself, unfortunately. So, yeah, if you do want it, it is as part of the bundle here, because what Lou is doing, the same pages, the same style of pages are within any of those sets that we're looking at. So if you are already covered for your pens, I'm just going to quickly bring in this kind of smaller version. And this one, you've got your set of 3, and this is proving to be a very popular bundle as well. So, yeah, same pages, same kind of paper within those pages. Yeah, you can see they just fit £13.75. And again, that's a nice area to work with. I suppose portrait or landscape with regards to these books as well. That's the key thing,
you could use them either way, portrait or landscape. And they fold out really flat. When you're working on, like even working here, the pages fold out flat. So you haven't got, sometimes when you've got a crease in the middle, it doesn't, the pages don't sit flat. So if you were
I know
doing
exactly
like a double...
what you mean, yes, yeah. Just noticed as well, they're actually stitched in signatures as well, so
Yeah.
if you did want to take out some of those signatures, you can do. It's a bit tricky to see, but you can see where you've got your stitches there, so all you need to do is snip those, and that will keep your little signatures in. Sometimes you can kind of see where the signatures are at the spine there, and that's perfect if you are using things like your textured paste or you're adding things to your pages, and you know how your book can get quite full sometimes. Well, you have got your elastic there to keep everything in place, but if you do want to decant some of those pages to make a bit more space, then you can do, just snip out those stitches, and you'll be able to do that. 20% of the stock has gone of this little bundle. As we say, you've got your 3 different sizes there, which I think are really nice sizes to work with, and if you are looking for the larger book that Lou is working with, then do check out the bundle that we've got that's got your fabulous little paint palette in, as well as those jelly roll pens and your moonlights.
Right, so I'm just going to, so that was just to give you an idea, just starting off and then gradually getting darker and darker with the colour. So you could doodle in, have I got my brush in here? Oh, I have. You know, ooh, I suppose. So you know what I was saying about the brush? You can colour larger areas in, and it's archival as well.
Oh, that's a lovely solid black.
Oh, isn't it? It's lovely deep black, isn't it? But you can use that for doing it. But with all the different size pens, we'll bring some colours in. Like for the 005 again, I'd go around the outside there, but I can bring in, and I can then do really fine, and I'm just doing lines and dots and just building them up. So if I then grab a 03, because I think that, we know we've got 02 in another set, haven't we?
We have in this one, yeah, you've got your 005s that you've been working with, your 01, 02, 03, 05 and your 8. And then, of course, if you go for the larger bundle, the one that details are on the screen, that's where you are going to get that additional brush pen that you just saw Lou working with as well. And I love this, because you kind of penciled in a line to start with. And you're kind of following that.
I do, and it's just to give me an idea, but then I'm not worried if I go off in different directions. But it just gives me an idea of where I want to. So when it comes to
kind of taking the pencil line away with an eraser, then you're not going to kind of do any damage with regards to the pens that you're working with?
No, I mean, I'll let that ink dry. I've got an eraser. Hold on. I had to think what an eraser was then. I do. You know, when you just think of thinking,
sorry, I don't know what that came on a rubber eraser. Yeah.
So I'm just going to make sure I've got a clean side. You know,
no problem.
So I can take that.
And it's not moving anything at all. Oh, that's brilliant, because you'd never know then, would you?
So you can actually, so you can do all your lines and do, you only keep a clean side. So we can then bring in some different colours. So where I've got the stars there, so I'm going to go, you know, I think we've got to go for a bit of moonlight.
Oh, they're gorgeous colours.
I love the moonlight. I love the contrast between the moonlight and the others, because they're matte. They've got a lovely matte finish. Now I can go back over these lines again.
Oh, okay.
Now the Sakura pens work on non-porous surfaces, which means they'll work on top of each other. So I could, now that this ink is dry, I'll just double check, I can put the moonlights on top once they're dry, because they're designed to work.
Oh, wow.
So you can doodle within your own lines and your own doodles. So you've got, and I think that's what people forget, they work on a multitude of different surfaces. So they'll work on glass, mirror, leather. You just got to, you know, have a play with them.
I love it. And this is the one with the larger book in as well, isn't it? That's got these pens in there.
Yes, so it's got the moonlight there. So
getting busier and busier with these.
I'm not surprised. It is lovely. And what I want to do is, let's have a think. And I love that because it's matte. So I'm going to bring in the orange.
Okay.
A little bit there. And whilst it's still wet, I just want to blend the two together a little bit.
See, that's not something I'd think of doing with these. You tend to think of them just being the solid colours in their own right.
No, but you can blend with them. And it's a great way, especially with the moonlight, where you've got the black lines. If you don't want to go back over with your black lines, you can carry on and you can blend them together. But you can do that with all the jelly rolls, not just the moonlights. So we could do it with the metallics, we could do it with the stardust, glazes. I'm trying to think, you know, all the pens then in front of it. And they're all here in front of me, you know, when you just sit there and go, sort of thing. So we could actually, so I'll carry on from there, I'll put them back, and let's grab, after a 05. This is what happens though. I start off with good intentions and leave them like that, and I feed them back in so I can see which ones I'm using, and then it changes. So the 0.5 is about the standard one. So now I've just got wet there, so I'm just going to turn my book around if that's all right, so I don't go over.
Yeah,
So now this one is a slightly thicker line. So that's the 0.05. That was the 0.2.
Oh yes, you can see the difference.
That was the 0.8. So it's just to show you all the different features of the different
and it's
pens.
nice because you don't have to change the pressure that you are working with, so you can keep that as a constant. Just doodle and draw in your own comfortable kind of way.
Yeah, you
But
don't.
it's the pens that are adjusting the level.
Yeah, you don't need to put any pressure at all. It's a. You think you need to, you know, not press down hard, but you think you need to do, you know, put a little bit of effort in, but you don't. The pens, the ink flows absolutely beautifully.
Look at that.
I do love a dot cures
Fabulous.
all. I know that sounds silly, but
Not
then
at all, not at all.
I can add it onto the end of your H there, so I can move it there. And these are just like little dangles, so you can bring back in all your different pens and all your different colours. But where is... I've fallen in love with the greens in the Moonlight set with, I think is it the smaller paint palette?
Oh yes, with those, well, they're the fine ones, aren't they? These
Yeah,
ones,
the
slightly
fine
finer.
ones.
So yeah, difference with these ones. Again, you've still got that moonlight look, so they're still going to sit beautifully on your darker cardstock as well as your lighter cardstock. But you can see here, you've got all those beautiful colours coming through there. Again, you've got your mini palette. I think this is such a fabulous idea. You've still got your metallics within the little palette that you've got. Your primary, so you can mix those up. Of course, you've got that fabulous little water brush pen that you can take with you on your travels. And the beauty is it sits so neatly. It's roughly the same size as your little sketchbook there, so it's a really easy bundle to take on your travels with you. £37.44, very affordable as well. And of course, with Flextravaganza, you can spread that cost over 2 payments. It's just £18.72 if you are wanting to go for that over your 2 payments. But we're busy for everything, to be honest. I think this is the nice thing, that people are kind of getting those little elements that maybe they need to add to, or they're just getting started
But I
with.
think the good present prizes. Now, when we were talking about colouring, so I've done the actual dangle this time. Instead of black, I've actually used the green.
Yes.
So the black can be quite stark.
Yes.
And if you think that you've perceived in your head that you've made a mistake, it can be quite off-putting. But by colouring in the colour that you want the object to be, so i.e. I want these to be leaves, so by colouring in green, I suppose it's, what's the French say, a trompe-l'oeil, isn't it? When they,
It is, isn't it? Trick of the eye.
Yeah.
I think that's how it translates, isn't it? Something like that.
So you've got that something. So I can now, like I said, I've fallen in love with these ones. And I love the matte finish. It's such a great contrast against the other.
And that's so useful when you've got more than one green, isn't it? As
Yeah.
you say there, yeah, that looks fabulous.
And it's, so I've still got the green outline, and I've not done any fancy doodling. I've just drawn, you know, some little leaves and coloured in. So you can, I think people think Moonlight pens have to work on black.
Yes, yeah. And I must admit, I'm one of those people, because that's the way that they look so dramatic. But of course, they're multifaceted, using them in loads of ways.
Yeah. So we can do that there. So let's put those, I'm going to be good and put them back in the sets. I have to be honest, at home, no, they'd be all over the place. You know when you go, So
now, have we got the white moonlight in any of these sets as well? Because that's a nice one to sit on top, isn't it?
It's on the first, is it the A4 set?
Oh, it is indeed, yes, I can see it in there now.
Yeah.
I've just noticed it in the set that you've got in front of you. And that's the one with the A4 book as well.
So I'm just using, this is still the Moonlights, and just doodling a little flower.
And again, they're good solid colours.
Now this, you can see the difference in the size of the nibs. So this is a 0.10,
yes.
and these are a 0.6. You get, each of the nibs, you know, brings something different to the party, I suppose, is a way of doing it. And you can still colour in and go over, and I won't colour them all in.
In the past, when I've actually wanted like a really strong colour, I tend to go to my alcohol markers, but of course the thing is that they bleed through the pages. Do you get that bleed through with these at all? No. That's the answer to that question.
And this is all watercoloured, and you use the Starlights.
And again, nothing's come through. So there you go, that's where I like these as an alternative. Yeah, I need to extend the range that I've got of these, definitely.
But
Right, Lou? I'm going to do a quick
sorry.
little recap. And it's going to be speedy quick as well, because I want to come back and see what you've got. But I've got to do my job. They're making me do my job. How rude. I'm having a lovely time watching Lou. So very quickly, let me show you the different options, because we've got lots of options, and I know many of you have got things in your baskets, and we want to just make sure that you are getting the right things for what you need. So with this set here, you've got a lovely set of your brush pens. Now, your brush pens are where you can be able to add that colour, add that deeper detail, lift off the pressure if you want in a finer line, and obviously go further down if you do want something a little more solid. It's one of those ones that if you are looking at doing kind of your scripted letters, then you can do that with it quite easily. We've also got the fine liners that are going to complement them. So again, you can use them both together. They complement each other perfectly, because the fine liners are very, very fine detail, as you can see in the top there, in exactly the same colours that we are bringing to you in your brush pens there. So they are going to work beautifully together. And of course, you have got that fabulous little sketchbook, which is going to sit neatly in the palm of your hand. So if you do want to take that on your travels, then you can do. £33.49 if you fancy getting hold of this one. £16.75 if you do want to spread the cost, because of course you have got the ability to use your Flextravaganza on that one. So 605188. Now, the book that Lou has continued to work with throughout her demonstrations is the larger A4 one, which is the one that I'm going to share with you next. And this one is lovely. I'm calling it A4. I don't know if it is actually a standard A4 size, because 21 centimetres by 29.7. So yes, it is a standard A4 size. A really nice size book. You've seen Lou working with that. Super smooth pages, exactly the same paper in each one of these books. So it's kind of about deciding on the size that you want to work with. And we've got busier and busier for this one as the hour is progressing. Of course, you have got your jelly roll fluorescents in here, so those gorgeous bright tones. You've also got the addition just at the end there. I didn't notice these last time when we were looking at these, but you have got that kind of the sparkle in here, and also the solid white as well. And these are kind of two of the fundamentals that you will find that you'll be using with these. So not only have you got those gorgeous fluorescents, you've got those additional ones there as well. So it's a really nice set to go for. And I think Lou has really illustrated just how amazing these are to work with. Then you've got obviously your little paint palette, which is beautiful because you've got all those colours in there. 24 colours featuring in there, including your primaries, including some of your metallics and your pearl. And of course you have got your little brush there. And as Lou said, if you are watching this, make sure you keep that little bung there that you've got, because when you've got water in there, you can pop that in there, and then of course it can go straight into that little caddy area there. And of course you have got your removable palette, which you can pop in place. Close the whole thing up when you're going on your travel. So if you fancy getting hold of this set, £56.99, incredibly affordable. And as I say, that wonderful book that Lou has been working with is featured within this bundle. So if you fancy it, two flexi buys are £28.50 if you do want to go for it over your two payments. 190235 if you're wanting them. Again, another lovely little book we're coming to in the next bundle, and this is a nice one. Might be a nice introduction set potentially if you don't want to go as large as the A4. You've got your jelly roll moonlights within here. Now these ones are finer details than the ones that we looked at a few moments, but they still have a perfect place within your craft room. Again, you've got some of your kind of sepia tones in here. You've got your lighter tones in here as well. Some nice muted tones with these ones. So yeah, if you fancy these ones, this is a nice little set to go for. Again, you've got your mini palette with this, similar to the one that we looked at earlier on. You've got a nice mix of your bold colours in there with your primaries, and you've got your metallics, and of course you've got your fabulous little brush pen there as well. And really good buy at £37.44, so 527259 if you fancy getting hold of that particular one as well. But then you've got the opportunity to get hold of the books by themselves. This little trio is proving to be very popular. Two reasons, I think. Perfect sizing with each of these, so whether you want your little tiny A6 or whether you are going for your larger ones, as we say, roughly your A5 size with those, and then your square. Just look at the price though, £13.75. Third of the stock has gone. You might not have an immediate need for these. You might not be thinking, oh yes, I'm going to use this for that and that for that and that for the other. These are ones that are just in case prices, I think, as well. So £13.75. Get them just in case you need them for a particular project that you've got coming up. And you can see that gorgeous coral red cover. It's really going to make these fabulous. Love them. 993351 if you fancy getting hold of those. Now the little sketchbook that you can see within this set features in the next bundle as well. And again, really nice size, palm size, as you can see, square pages with those ones. You're looking at kind of 4.7 inches. They're just shy of 5 inches square with those ones. 12 centimetres if you wanted them in your metric. And then you have got your nice little collection of your pens there. So again, going from the very fine detail through to that slightly thicker detail, and you can see from the illustration on there, perfect for whether it's the tiniest of details that you're wanting, going through to the kind of more stronger elements that you've got within there as well. Nice little travel pack, very affordable. It's almost a try-me price, isn't it, at £11.20p? And even more so when you're spreading the cost over your 2 extravaganza payments, because you're only looking at, what, £5.60. I mean, you won't even notice that hardly, will you? Especially if you're a Freedom member. I mean, you won't want to be paying any post and packing on that, will you? So it's worth becoming a Freedom member, even just for the items in this show. So 275-173 if you fancy that one. Now, if you want a larger set of pens with that micron detail, then this is a perfect one for you. Have a little look at these while I just grab the swatch card to show you the different thicknesses that we've got with these. And this is nice because you've got a good variety of thicknesses. They're all black tone, which of course we have seen Lou working with. So if you have a look at this one, ignore the brush at the bottom there. So this set, you're going from your 005, which is your finest, through to your 08, as you can see there. The brush can come up in the next set. So if you fancy these ones, £11.95 will get you those 6, 553381. And the next set, you'll see slightly larger packaging because you've got the extra pen in there. So the extra pen has got that brush in there that we've just touched on the card there. So you're going to get all the ones we've just looked at, including the brush at the bottom there. Just ignore that little bit at the bottom. So £15.75, a really nice set with those 410420. And then if you want to introduce colour, as Lou has been showing us how he can do it and not to be afraid of it, these are 2 different sets on the same item number. So you've got your basic and you've got your earth with these ones. So if you're wanting to go for these, within your basics, you have got your black, your red, your blue, your green, your brown and your purple. Which coordinates perfectly actually with that first set that we were looking at. I think that's the same. I don't know if it's the same size with those. I have to check those out. £12.99. So those ones, if you're wanting those ones, are that little colour palette that you've got there. The other option, being your earth tones, is where you've got your sepia, your blue black, your royal blue, burgundy, hunter green and your fresh green as well. £12.99, very affordable. 91653M8. I'm going to shoot back over to Lou. As we go, can I just mention Quickie glue pens for you as well? We've got a mega pack here. These are invaluable. Do make sure that you add these into your basket. You do not want to be without these. £12.99 is your price, so please get those as soon as you possibly can. I'm going to scoot back over to Lou. Sorry for the speedy, quick speaking, but we've only got about 3 minutes left.
Right,
and I want to see more.
One of the things I started filling in the starting initial for you. One of the things I love about jelly rolls is when the ink is wet, you can blend with them. Right, I'm just going to put my tissue there because whilst the ink is still wet here, I can do that. I know we've got paint on as well, but I like to use the paints to cover a larger surface. But whilst the ink is wet, I can still do all my blending techniques with the jelly rolls. And once that is dry, I can then go over, because it's become another non-porous surface, I can then go over it again. And if I wanted to, I mean, what would be perfect actually on top of this purple is that lovely little silver in the pocket set, just to add a little bit more. But you can blend them out. You don't have to do them as solid colours. So you can bring in all your different techniques that you want to do. I'm hoping that one might be dry so we can go over the top of it.
So is this kind of just almost a damp brush that you're using?
Yeah, damp. Well, it's the same with any watercolouring technique, isn't it? The more water you put on, the more the ink's going to flow.
That's a good, good point, yeah.
So like I put a lot more ink there, a lot more water, and I've blended it out further, whereas I put a damp brush there. So you can bring in all the different techniques, you know, that you can with your watercolour. And I could as well, I can blend these together. So what does look nice is these moonlights with the stardust, because you've got the flat matte finish of the moonlights, but then you've got the sparkle of the stardust.
This looks
so
amazing.
I can do that. So you don't have to use them as solid. You can bring in all the other different techniques that you want to do with it. So if I'm hoping this is dry, because I don't want to put wet pen on top, so I can now go back over again.
Oh, look at this.
So because it's dry, I can add more and more detail, and that I love about the Sakura pens because of that and the way they're designed, because obviously Sakura were the innovators of jelly roll pens.
They were, yes. And it's that kind of flow system, isn't it? That's
so you can
key.
carry on going. But again, if I didn't like that, once it's dry, I could technically go over with my first starting colour.
Start again.
And start again.
But you don't need to, because it looks amazing. Now, Lou, you're back with us at 11 o'clock.
11, yes.
So we can learn even more. I mean, I've learnt loads within this hour. It's been a fabulously informative hour, so thank you so much.
We're going to have play with different. We're going to have play with paste.
Ooh, look forward to that. Make sure you tune in for that one. We're literally down to the last few seconds of the hour. Thank you so much for your company. Don't forget the bundles that we've got available for you. The one that Lou's just been working with, the larger book and the Moonlight, that is this set here. It's proven to be an incredibly popular bundle. Details are on your screen. Do make sure you're getting your goodies and joining Lou at 11 o'clock, where you can learn more of how to use them. I'll see you in a mo, though. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's time for our first fresh look at the one-day special. Myself and Hayley Smith coming up after the break. Oh, we've got the fabulous Beeswax Wrap Company back in again. And then we've got essential tools with Prata too.
Hi, I'm Ali from Ali Stitch Your Fingers. I've been sewing most of my life. I absolutely love sewing. I've been with the Hochanda now from the very beginning, really. That's when I started to go there. The Hochanda family are lovely people to work with, and I'm really enjoying my time with them. Designing is a big part of the journey for me as well. I love going out and finding the fabrics to use in the projects and bringing them to you. I love the designing process from start to finish, and then the finished project is just the icing on the cake. So make sure you don't miss out. Come and sew with me on Hochanda.
Have you heard of Hochanda Freedom? Did you know that as a Hochanda Freedom member, you could be making savings on every order you place? For just £5.97 a month, you will benefit from selected Freedom member discounts and complimentary standard delivery on every order you place. You will also receive our exclusive Freedom members badge, newsletters, competitions and crafty updates. If you shop with Hochanda more than twice a month, then Freedom is for you. Don't forget, your Freedom membership is flexible, so you can pause it if you're going away, or you can cancel it at any time. So what are you waiting for? Give us a call or head to the website, quoting item number 88888, and join Hochanda Freedom today.
Hi, I'm Hayley. Join me for some amazing Fabric Freedom shows. Fabric Freedom design all their fabrics here in the UK, and they design them with quilters in mind, so they're really good at picking out those unidirectional prints, really nice and small prints so you can work on smaller patchwork projects, and paste prints as well, which is one of their signature fabrics. They do lots more fabrics besides quilting cottons, so tune in to the Fabric Freedom shows here on Hochanda.
Hello, my name's Kay from Indigo Blue, and we've been established for 7 years, and together with my husband Alfie we design and manufacture our own in-house red rubber stamps. We also have our own range of paints, lushes and stencils. We're so proud that we've now got a reputation for such high quality products and the detail that we can manage to get in our stamps. What I really love about Hochanda is I get to demonstrate lots of different techniques for you to understand how to use our products and hopefully inspire you. I've got loads of fantastic ideas buzzing around in my head, so I can't wait to get those filtered into our products and out to you at home. So grab a cup of tea, join me and the team from Indigo Blue on Hochanda.
Hello, my name's Catherine Sturrock, and I bring to Hochanda my company Character Crafts. Character Crafts brings to you our laser cut designs. Each design is designed
by myself